What's up, everybody? It's Friday. It's game night. It's Good Friday, Easter long weekend. Wade, how's it going, my friend?
Not too bad. Archie, happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter to you, Archie. Hopefully everyone's
You?
having a good day off, or if you work today, hopefully you made some good overtime pay and got that double time and a half. I don't know what it is, but things are good, man. The hockey season's rolling. And yeah, how are you?
Not bad. Not bad. I mean, considering for those who are south of the border or anywhere outside of Ontario, as some of you may know, we are about to enter another lockdown effective, I believe, at midnight tomorrow. Or no, tonight, technically.
Yeah.
So yeah, on to lockdown number 3. I mean, I think the NHL's, or at least the Canadian division, has officially been impacted with Vancouver having a bunch of their games canceled, I think through to April 6th because of COVID. So we're going to start to see things a little bit, things are going to pick up. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that rule they kind of made up last week about the whole, we'll get rid of the 14-day wait and change it to 7-day wait for hockey players.
Yeah.
That might change now. We'll get into that discussion in a few. But as always, we'll kick off the show with, of course, our beloved Maple Leafs, who continue to lead. They're not leading the NHL anymore. Quite a few teams jumped ahead, but it's a very, very narrow margin. But they do continue to lead the North Division with a huge win against Winnipeg the other night and playing against Winnipeg again tonight. I feel like it's become a rivalry, and I love watching these two teams play because it's always so close. So we'll get into that. Just quick update on the Leafs. They're 23-10-3 since the last time we spoke. 49 points, 27 goal differential. They seem to be sitting in that area with goal scoring. I don't think they have an issue with scoring goals. Now it's just a matter of crunch time. We're in the second half of the season. This is the drive for the playoffs, and every win counts, right? So this is where we got to start winning some games. So before we get into the specifics with certain players, Wade, how do you feel about our Leafs right now?
Well, we went through that tough stretch recently, man, where I think we lost about 6 of 7 or 7 or 8, something along the lines of that. It was a little bit concerning, man. We were juggling around with some lines. Our goaltender situation's looking bad, and we were kind of waiting for Jack Campbell to get healthy because he's been called upon and summoned by Leafs fans. Frederik Andersen hasn't been doing the job for the Leafs recently, man, and he came out, said he was injured all of a sudden, and he's dealing with an injury right now, trying to work his way back. But I mean, Jack Campbell 7-0. That's a great record right now, and trust me, Leaf fans are all over that, and I guess so is the team because he's playing tonight. Had a little bit of a rest day the other night there. We had Hutch in, and Hutch got the win for us. So the backup goaltending's been doing well for us this year, and it's been a struggle prior to this year, except for when we had Curtis McElhaney in the back of Freddie Andersen in 2016-17. So it's been a couple of rough years just with backup goaltending, but it seems that our backup goaltending is stepping up and actually doing the best job that they can, and maybe even taking over the number one goaltending spot in Frederik Andersen, right? So I like the way Jack Campbell's been playing. It seems like the guys are playing it seems like they play really good in front of them. Like they really want to play for them. And there's just an extra jump in the boys' step whenever Jack Campbell's in the crease. So I don't know if that has to do with the way that Jack Campbell is with the team and how he's humble and really nice and gets the boys going. I don't know if they've lost Freddie's. I don't know if they've lost what they had in Freddie, whatever it was, the it factor that Freddie had coming in as a Leaf, and he's been playing really well relatively for us for his whole career here. But recently, I can't put my finger on it. Archie, what do you think about what's going on in the dressing room and the way that the Leafs just have an extra pep in their step when they play way better, in my opinion, in front of Jack Campbell than they have with Freddie Andersen in the last 2-3 weeks? What do you think?
I mean, I can't disagree with you. And I feel like when I saw the stat that Campbell was 7-0, I was like, wait, that can't be right, that he's lost the game. Apparently he hasn't. I was convinced he had lost at least a game. But you can't ignore a 7-0 statistic. And I mean, you're right.
Oh.
I feel like the team that plays in front of Andersen is not the same confidence level as a team that plays in front of Campbell. And I feel like Campbell's proven that he's that guy that can come in and steal you a much-needed win. He's done it 7 times now. So, I mean, is Freddie Anderson really injured? Is this kind of – I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. You remember he kind of disappeared? It's like they gave him almost like they gave him a week off and said, go find yourself, go to a retreat or something. Like he went somewhere. I forget what it was, but he took some time off.
Yep, I remember that. As they do with a lot of NHL goalies that deal with that kind of stuff, man. They tell them, listen, go gather yourself and get yourself back into the competitive confidence that you had prior to what you're going through, right? So, I understand. Yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, now he's got this lower body injury, didn't travel with the team. He's been in Toronto, and they made it official, I think, yesterday or early today that he won't be joining the team on the road trip. So he's already ruled out for the West Coast swing. I'm okay with that. I'm still not confident in Hutchinson. I mean, he won us a game, but I don't know. Man, he's so hit and miss and inconsistent. But I'm excited to see Campbell with 7-0 record. Although the last game, I forget, I think it was his last game that he played. He made a save. It was an awkward save, and it looked like he struggled getting up. People are starting to think, great, he's injured again. I guess not. Maybe it was just he tweaked something or it was just an awkward stretch or whatever. But, I mean, happy to see he's in net tonight and he's back and no worries there. I really hope Freddie comes back and bounces back in some way because, I mean, for a goalie who's in a contract year, he is not making himself worth much right now. If there's one thing that's been consistent about Anderson, it's his inconsistency. Like he's been up and down. He'll play stellar, and then, I mean, those late goals, early goals, we've been talking about it all year. It happens and continuously happens. So I hope this lights a bit of a fire under him, and if not, I hope Campbell is starting to earn the trust of not only his teammates, but the coaches, GM, president and all that. And if we can get away with Campbell as our starter, for example, and not have to dish out,
pay someone in the off season or for a trade to come over and pay like 5 or 6, 7 mil. Yeah, exactly.
Or like a $10.5 million Carey Price kind of deal. If we can get away with Campbell at what we've got him at, I'm happy. I'm okay with that. And you know what? The team's been playing good. So,
you know what? You said it best, Archie. He's consistently been inconsistent. Man, and that's the life and the career Anderson as a Maple Leaf. Am I not right? Since he's come into the Leafs, he's been that goalie that, man, for some reason he has a hot start and then he cools off, but then he gets really hot again, like Carey Price-esque. Like he looks so good and stable in net, and he battles for every puck and he looks good, and then he drops off for another month, and then he looks awkward and looks weird. He doesn't look confident. I don't know, man. That's just been the life of our goalie situation in Toronto in the last few years. So if we can get that steady, consistent goaltending, we're laughing, man, because we have the team, we have the defense, we have the young core with the older veteran leadership too. This is the time that the Maple Leafs really need a goaltender, man. And if Jack Campbell is him, then so be it. He's 7-0. Let's hope he gets a big win tonight, has a good game. And hey, man, I know that Jack Campbell's probably starting to feel a little bit of pressure on him too. So we'll see how this pressure starts to carry on his shoulders now that he knows he's kind of like the number one starter, at least for the next, road trip and maybe 5-6 games before Freddie gets better and comes back. So we'll see how the pressure plays with him, and hopefully he doesn't fold under pressure and he carries how he's been playing into the next couple of weeks and solidifies that number one goalie spot. But Arch, you said it right though, man. Freddie too inconsistent right now, man, and it's been like that. And I don't think it's looking good for a contract year for the Leafs to want to sign this 30. I don't even know how old he is now, maybe 31, 32. Why are you going to sign him back? You know he's going to want some money too. I don't know what he's going to ask for. I know it's going to be over $5 million a year for the next maybe 4 or 5 years for sure. It's going to be something long term. I don't know, but if we can get away, just like you said, Arch, with Campbell, I think we have him for another year, like this year and next year. I think it's something along the lines of that, right?
I think
so. So at his cap hit, which is not much, and Yeah, we'll see how this unfolds, and I think being 7-0 and playing Winnipeg tonight after we just beat them, and Winnipeg's hungry too. They're trying to stay atop the North as well with us in Edmonton and trying to stay above Montreal. So, hey man, it's an exciting time of hockey, bud. This is it. This is the home stretch to get ready for playoff hockey, man. And this is what we're seeing what the teams are made out of. And let's see what happens, man. Go Jack Campbell for Leaf fans.
Yes, sir. And of course, we can't talk about the Leafs without mentioning our stud, Austin Matthews, continuing to lead the league, 24 goals. His wrist does not look like it is bothering him whatsoever. Scored an awesome goal the other night. I know you love the guy. What are you feeling right now?
I'll just quickly touch on Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is Austin Matthews, man. I would argue he's a top 3 player in the NHL out of anyone. Like, you know what I mean? The only guys better than him right now are like Connor McDavid. I mean, maybe I'll say top 5 just because, man, Patrick Kane, what a season he's having, and it's unbelievable. But Draisaitl, Austin Matthews, McDavid, Patrick Kane are just on fire right now. They're playing well. And Austin Matthews, 24 goals now? He's 3 goals ahead of Connor McDavid. He's looking for the Rocket Richard, and he should have, you know what, he was in the runs for that last year, like I brought up before with Pasternak and Ovi, but the shortened season kind of screwed him over. But this might be the first season where he wins that trophy, gets to 35, 36, 40 goals out of a 56-game season, which is like immaculate, which is excellent, spectacular. And I think he went through the wrist injury. He didn't look the same. You can tell the confidence dropped a little bit off, and that was affecting that whole line. Marner looked a little off prior to about 2 or 3 games ago. I feel like the last few games, Marner and Matthews have just had that jump that they've had all year from the start. Yeah. But there was about a five-game stretch there where, I mean, they kind of just looked like they were a little lackadaisical. They were making too many pretty plays. They were turning over the puck a little bit, not getting enough shots on net. But now they're hungry. The drive's back. Austin Matthews is scoring a goal a game again. And Marner obviously has a little bit of a scoring touch recently too. And he's just obviously his vision and everything, the way that he plays, finding Austin Matthews, getting open, making big plays. And hell, man, I think Austin Matthews and Marner are back at it, and back to arguably the number 1 duo outside of Brad Marchand, Pasternak, and Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So let's just keep rolling here. What are your thoughts on Austin Matthews right now too, Archie?
I mean, I love what he's doing. I love that he's playing more physical too. He's getting more angry and frustrated. He's not shying away from getting physical, which is great. Nylander's once again, he's kind of coasting again. He's not really being effective. But I got to mention Zach Hyman. That guy, unreal. Like, I love Zach Hyman. I love what we're paying him. I love what he does for the team. He's got 24 points in 34 games. Like, he's that guy that just coasts and gets things done. And I forget who it was that said it best about him. I think it might have been Sheldon Keefe last year. Zach Hyman wins puck battles. He gets the puck back. We know the Leafs offer more turnovers than Tim Hortons sometimes, but Zach Hyman gets you that puck back. He's a grinder. He's not afraid of hitting corners, getting in front of the net, getting dirty, and he makes stuff happen. Every time he's got that puck, it's like, don't count him out. It's just Zach Hyman. It's Zach Hyman. You don't know what he's going to do. He might pass. He might come in and do something crazy and score a goal. He's been playing great. Love what he's doing. Like, he's one of those guys you can throw him on any line and he'll do what he has to do to just keep playing. So I'm happy to see him finding that bounce in his game again, because I mean, we are, McKayev's on the quiet train. Nylander's on that same train ride. A few of the players.
Archie, let me ask you, what do you think about Galchenyuk on that Tavares and Nylander line? I think Galchenyuk looks pretty good. What are your thoughts?
I like him, and he's made a few really nice passes. No look passes between the legs. He's a few heads up plays on game winning goals. So I mean, again,
he gets into the dirty spots too. If you've noticed, he gets into the corners, but he makes it. He finishes his hits. He gets in. He digs pucks. Like, I wasn't expecting that from Alex Galchenyuk, but I guess this is his last kind of tryout to stay in the NHL and be relevant. And he's doing pretty well for the Leafs right now, man. I gotta say.
Yeah, no, I like him. I thought it was a great pickup. I'm glad they finally got him into the lineup, and that it's not one of those things where we got him and we bury him in the minors. I'm not sure how our boy Wayne Simmons is doing right now. I don't know if he's 100% just yet. Glad to see him back, but something seems off. I don't know if it was too soon, or maybe he's trying to regain or refine his stride again. But I mean, I have no doubt that he'll bounce back. He's a
Me either.
He'll be there, but I'd love to see him score a goal tonight, or at least get in on something. And hopefully we'll start to see. I think he'll get there, Archie, just because he started the season. They had him on that first power play unit at the very beginning of camp, and even the second power play unit. He was playing third line, moved up to the second line, moved up to the first line. So he was playing those top 6 and top 9 minutes. Comes back 6 weeks or 7 weeks. He was out, right? Wrist injury, broken wrist. Obviously, you don't really want to fight right when you come back either, and I think that really ups his game and his confidence. And he's playing on the fourth line right now, right? So he's trying to find his groove, but it's almost like a conditioning stint for him. Rather than going to the Marlies or whatever, like on a 2-way contract, I think he's on a 1-way. But rather than going back and conditioning like Galchenyuk kind of had to do, he's got thrown right back into the fire. And I think Wayne Simmons' legs are there, but he's as soon as he gets back, and Sheldon Keefe notices that his confidence is back and he's feeling good, he'll be throwing on that third, fourth, or third, second, and first line, and hopefully he makes a huge impact the way he was before he got injured. Because my dad was talking to me recently, man. He had 5 goals in 6 games before he got injured, man. He was on a tear. So It's good to see him back. Hopefully we see him back in the proper Wayne Simmons fashion, scoring goals in front of the net, hitting, fighting, slashing. We love it. 100%. So moving along outside of our Leafs, we know you and I could probably rename this show to Leafs Talk if we really wanted to just talk about our boys, but we'll move along. There is some other important stuff that happened, some stuff that I'm not too happy about with the NHL. So we'll dive into that right now. McDavid and McKinnon, coincidentally in the same week, both avoided suspensions, both fined $5,000 each for the incidents that, in my opinion, should have been suspendable offenses. I'm going to throw it out there like everybody else. If Nazem Kadri had done either of these things, he'd probably be facing a 2-week vacation right now. So I get it. You can't get rid of the stars of the game, but you got to draw the line somewhere. And both plays were very careless plays away from the play. And I think, honestly, I'll pull it up just because I feel like it has to be shown. McDavid's was a cowardly elbow, like just unnecessary. And given that he's been suspended before, I thought second offense, they would have given him something. Pocket change, $5,000 and a slap on the wrist. But I'll share this with everyone now because for anybody who may have missed it. So this is the McDavid play against Montreal. You'll see it now around center ice. Puck gets moved. Bam. Uncalled for, unnecessary. I don't understand it. I feel like if maybe Kotkaniemi had stayed down or maybe he had been cut, it would have been a different outcome. But they're going to show the replay now. This should have at least been more than even just a 2-minute penalty. Like I'm shocked. I know it's McDavid, but come on. It was a deliberate elbow to the head. It's a headshot. It's an elbow. Call it whatever you want. It's greasy. Definitely something that he should have been suspended for. Here it is again in slow motion from a different angle. The puck was moved. The guy, Kotkaniemi, wasn't even looking, staring at his pass. I get that. You don't admire your pass. But, man, delayed elbow, uncalled for. How do you feel about it?
I feel weird about this one. I agree. I think it should have been a penalty. Here's the thing, though. When McDavid hits him, I don't know. To me, there's not enough evidence that his elbow was hitting his head because I know it was a high hit. Don't get me wrong. And it looks like he gets his head, but at the same time, it looks like it was high and he kind of like he missed his face, like he missed his head. It's just a weird one to me. I think McDavid just missed his head there, but like he got it so high up on the chest, like it was literally under his neck, I think. And regardless, man, it was a late hit. It's McDavid. There's no need for people in the game to do that shit anymore. And it was almost like a hit. Like he hit so high that it's almost looked like it was a slew foot the way that Kotkaniemi went down. But I feel weird about it. Like I wish that there was more video footage from the benches that showed exactly the impact of that hit, because I feel like it was just a really high hit. But regardless of the high hit too, McDavid kind of did get his elbow up. So yeah, like it's kind of just a weird one for me. I don't know really exactly how I feel about it, but I could see why he got the fine for it and maybe not a game suspension, because there wasn't enough evidence to show that, you know, he actually elbowed Buddy in the face. So I don't know, no need in the game for that. And even if he did get a suspension, I mean, that is laying down the laws, and it's like, see, star players can get suspended too for a game for these stupid, brutal, late high hits, right? So, and then Archie, let's roll the McKinnon one. And I'm going to ask your opinion after first. I want you to give me what you think about it.
So the fact that it was 8-3 with 5 minutes left in the game on a delayed penalty too, I found it funny at first when I saw it. And then I realized, man, I've had a helmet thrown at me before. And when it's getting tossed at you and hits you in the face, that's not fun. And watching it over and over again, I was like, man, that was really ignorant. It was a stupid play. Again, not necessary. I mean, again, Nazem Kadri does it. The guy's done. You know he's done. He's getting the phone call, pulled off the ice, out of the game. I keep looking at the fact that it was 8-3. McKinnon should have just skated away. I get it. Everyone gets, you know, frustrated. You get under your skin. We'll roll it here. There's a battle in the corner. I can't help but laugh because of the reaction when the helmet hits him. And it's just funny. It looks like McKinnon's going bowling. Like the perfect toss right to his face. It's like a flick of the wrist and bam, helmet to the face. But, you know, I don't know. Something obviously triggered it. It wasn't just, you know, spontaneous and out of nowhere. I think here we'll see.
So let me ask you, suspension or no suspension?
So here's the thing. At this point, you don't see it, but he pretty much wrestled the helmet off the guy.
Yeah.
Rips the helmet off of him, skates away, and then it's like it bounces off the ground into his hand. Like, it was the most, like, do you see that? Like, it's the most awkward. Like, how does it even end up in his hands?
Yeah.
And then boom, goes after him. I feel like it's definitely what's the word I'm looking for? Unsportsmanlike, 100%. You'll see here's the battle. They're giving it to each other. You know, he's got him, rips the helmet. Like, look at this. The guy's holding his leg. It's a good fight, but he ends up with the helmet and just goes for the pin, like just knocks him right to the face. So, and I think, you know, it was sold well too, like right here. Unexpected though. Like, this is the best angle right there. So classic. So I think there's no room in the game for it. I mean, it wasn't a hockey play by any means. Again, kind of funny, but could have been worse. Like, it could have knocked some teeth out if he threw it any harder, or it could have caused some damage. What if the visor had clipped him in the nose or something, right? So gladly nobody got hurt. But again, I do think if it was any other player in the NHL, there'd be a suspension for it. I'd like to hear your take on this one.
I have a quick take, buddy, and I think it's a 1-game suspension. That's all I got to say, buddy. If he hit him, like you said, Arch, if he hit him in the face there, bud, and he lost some chiclets, or he had a bloody nose or a cut or something, I mean, dude, it's very unsportsmanlike to throw a piece of equipment, especially like, you know, other than a skate, a helmet is the worst, next worst thing that you could throw at someone. And he threw it with some velocity too. It's not like he tossed it at him. He fucking hooked it, man. So I don't know. I don't really like it. I think the league should have cracked down on that right away, because that shouldn't be allowed in the game at all. Like, you can't be throwing a fucking a reinforced plastic helmet at a guy, and it hit him pretty high up in the chest. Like, he's lucky that it didn't hit his chin and cut him open. And if it did, then I'm sure that McKinnon would have been on the media after the game and apologizing and saying, oh, the game doesn't need this kind of act. I'm sorry. My behavior got the best of me. I need to be more composed and stuff like that. And he's lucky that nothing bad came out of it, bud, because it could have really something really bad could have happened there. And that's all I got to say about that one, man. I think it's a 1-game suspension just to let the league know that they're not going to tolerate stupid shit like that. I mean, it's childish.
100%. I agree with you. Like, again, $5,000 slap on the wrist. It doesn't do anything. And so many things you can look at. Like I said, they're winning 8-3. The game's almost over. Like, just skate away. You were both wrestling in the corner. Skate away. Get him next game.
And another thing, Archie, like, take McKinnon out for a game because Colorado's just too fucking hot right now, So just, take them out, man. Cool that shit down, man. They're on fire right now, just saying. But, yeah, 1-game suspension for me.
Agreed, 100%. So it wouldn't be a show without touching base on everyone's favorite topic, Buffalo. So
okay, I just want to say this really quick. Who the hell here? It made me laugh so hard. Jeff Skinner went on a breakaway with no stick last night.
Yep.
I died. This guy went on a breakaway in the NHL fully from like the blue line to the fucking goalie. Like literally had all day and had no stick, man. And then the puck, like he tries to play soccer with it, make a pass. The puck goes the other way, and I forget who they were facing, but they scored. You know what I mean? It was in New York. New York goes down and scores right after. Like, oh, dude, what a sequence, man! Like that. Does that not sum up what's going on with the scorers and the team in Buffalo right now? It summed it up perfectly for me. I was like, that's exactly what is happening in Buffalo right now. It's literally a joke. What are your thoughts on Buffalo, Art?
It's funny because the week before there was that Taylor Hall play where he's on a breakaway and he just fucking whiffs at it and the puck just leaves his stick. It's like, what is happening? And we got to mention this. They beat the Flyers 6-1 on Wednesday to avoid going on a 19-game losing streak and then bounce back with another loss last night against the Rangers in overtime. Yeah, when I saw that play, Skinner going on a breakaway with no stick, I was like, where's he going? And why doesn't he have any support? Like, what? Get the guy at stick.
I thought it was so good.
It was just chaos. It's just it feels like you're watching a circus every time Buffalo's on the ice. And I'm beyond feeling bad, but I do feel bad for Taylor Hall. And I would love for the Leafs to make a move and pick up Taylor Hall if possible, because the guy's good. He's just on a really horrible team right now. And it's like nothing's working for anybody on that team. I don't think anyone on that team can say it's going well for them. Like, it's just not good. I think the only one
let me stop you there. Olofsson is having a season there. Olofsson. Okay. But other than that, everyone else is shit. But yeah, continue.
It's like, is Jack Eichel still injured? Because if that's the case, he's at least avoiding this.
Yeah.
Okay, so good for him because he's not on the ice, because he probably would not be happy. I could see him throwing a fit at what's going on. And I feel really bad for Taylor Hall and Jeff Skinner for not having a stick last night. It's kind of like, I'd love to know what was going on through his head as he's skating up the ice with nothing but his skates. Like, was he going to try to kick it? Like, what was his plan? Like, I don't know. But yeah, you said it best. It sums up the heading to Buffalo ... I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's a dumpster fire, a hot mess. It is just chaos in Buffalo. I would hate to be a Sabres fan right now. I'm not sure if they even have any, but I feel like they have more people in the building right now than they will when they allow fans back in, because it's not going to look good.
Well, at least the Buffalo Bills are doing well. So I think that Buffalo fans will just kind of go to that side now, especially if they're Sabres fans. They'll be like, well, fuck this team. Let's just follow the Bills now. Go Bills.
It's funny because I saw a meme this morning, and you know how Bills Mafia, they go through the tables, right? The fold-up tables. I saw a guy dressed in all Buffalo Sabres jumping through a fucking IKEA side table one of those
I
little
saw it
shitty
too.
square ones. And I was dying. I was like, this is priceless. It's just like,
Yeah, he was in Buffalo goalie
yeah,
equipment.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
great. I
that's
was like, this
hilarious,
is,
man. In regards, Archie, to Taylor Hall,
yeah,
I think Taylor Hall would be a good suit for the Leafs. Although, I mean, he has 2 goals this year. I mean, he's played all games. He's played 36 games, and as much as Buffalo is like horrible, it's rancid over there. I feel like a guy like Taylor Hall should still be able to put up more points than 18 points in 36 games. You know what I mean? 2 goals, 16 assists. I get that. I get that you're on a shitty team, but hey, man, Taylor Hall played for New Jersey in 2016-17 or 17-18, whatever the year was, where he had 93 points and he was scoring every game. And New Jersey, by all means, did not have a friggin' good roster. Like Palmieri and Zajac were the best guys on that roster at that time too, and they're
yeah.
still there. In New Jersey. So for me, like at least he still has guys like Olofsson, Okposo's washed up and everything, but you still have those types of players and Casey Middlestat. And there's another player I'm thinking of, Jeff Skinner. I mean, you still got some guys that can put the puck in the back of the net, but like you said, man, who knows? Like the confidence, the way that the vibes in the dressing room, the vibes of that whole arena right now is probably just like it's probably depressing, like for all the players. So it's hard to play when you're trying to pick yourself up, but it is what it is. I thought Taylor Hall would have a couple more goals at least, man, for teams to be sniffing at him, to be like, hey, come over here, we can really use you. But I mean, he definitely, I can't say that he's not an upgrade for any team that's pushing for NHL, because you put him with some good players that have a winning momentum confidence, then, I mean, he's going to do well, I think so.
Yep. I mean, you're right. He was on New Jersey, and again, not the best of teams, but he does need to definitely find his game, even to make himself tradable for anybody who'd even be interested in taking him on. So there's going to definitely probably be some salary to be eaten or whatever the case may be. But I'm surprised Buffalo hasn't made any big moves yet, because I feel like there's players that could be useful to teams that are actually good. And teams that have sticks for their players on breakaways. So, I mean, I feel like those players could be beneficial to other teams, but I think it's a matter of time before things happen. The trade dominoes haven't quite started just yet. I was just following a rumor right now. So apparently the Leafs are in the event that I think Jack Campbell is still potentially battling an injury. He's not 100% maybe. So the rumor is the Leafs are on, they've got Darcy Kemper in their sights. Reason being, he comes at a 1.85 cap hit in his last year. He's in a contract season as well. Currently with the Coyotes.
Okay, I really like that you said that, Archie. I like Darcy Kemper, so that's good news, man. I mean, that's cool trade bait talk right there.
Yep. So I mean, that could definitely be a solution. I mean, unless the Leafs just implode, which I can't see happening, they're going to make the playoffs. Now, the question is Jack Campbell enough to carry them? And even if not, if Jack Campbell goes down or it can only play certain games, does Hutchinson have what it takes? I don't think so. I think Hutchinson is just, he's going to be one of those goalies that gets traded all over the place and gets claimed off waivers and replaced on waivers, and it's just a matter of time before he ends up getting buried.
Which is what he's been recently. So yeah,
exactly.
That can continue.
It'll continue for him, but if the Leafs get Kemper, I'd be pretty damn happy at $1.8 million, another discounted goalie, and again, a great rental option, because we don't know what's going to happen next year. But we'll worry about that when we get there, because the goal right now is to try to win a cup, right? So outside of that, around the NHL, I mentioned earlier, Vancouver, they've got an outbreak going on right now, so their games have been postponed. Last week or earlier this week, the NHL announced that the playoffs got delayed by one day right now because of rescheduling all the games that have been canceled, which is pretty good.
Yep.
They only lost one game.
That's not bad, yeah.
Or one date, yeah. Some other news I saw earlier today, not sure if anybody even cares about what Brandon Dubinsky has to say, but he says he'd take Ovechkin over Crosby any day, and he was quoted with "fuck Sid." Hey, it's a debate. Who would you take, Ovi or Crosby?
I have to go with Sidney Crosby. I have to go with Sidney Crosby because he's the centerman. It's Sidney Crosby. I mean, I think he has more points than Ovechkin, and Sidney Crosby's played like 160 games less than Ovechkin. So, and Crosby just elevates everyone else. Whereas I get that Ovi, like especially earlier in his career, this guy was. Trust me, Ovi was so dominant, man. He was hitting everything. He makes passes. He drives the net. He scores goals. Like, he's unbelievable. He's mastered the craft at standing in that spot and at the edge of the circle there and just letting them rip on the one-timers. And I get that. Him and Stamkos share that kind of same spot on the power play. And I guess Ovechkin was kind of the originator of it. But yeah, I got to go with Crosby. Sorry, man. I don't care if Crosby's a whiner and everything, and he used to be anyway. I don't think he hasn't been whining for about 5-6 years now. He grew up a little bit, but hey, man, you're talking about Sidney Crosby here over Ovechkin. Yeah, Ovechkin scores you goals. Sidney Crosby scores you goals and elevates everyone else around him in almost makes them all-stars. Sidney Crosby turned Chris Kunitz into one of the best players in the NHL for like a year or two. Like, it was Chris Kunitz. He made the team candidate that year. Sidney Crosby is the one that almost like made Brad Marchand what he was, because they put Brad Marchand on that Sidney Crosby line in 2016 World Cup, and they were the best friggin' line going in that tournament. And Crosby and Marchand just like fed off each other. They played like very similar games. And I know Boston fans would argue with me, like, you know, what the hell are you talking about right now? But man, I'm telling you, it was like 2016, that World Cup of Canada just dominating in that number one line with Crosby and Marchand, where I think everyone really started to notice how fucking good Brad Marchand was. So just for me, for what Crosby brings to the team, and for who he is and what he represents. And I'm just going to put this out there. Crosby, yeah, I know Ovechkin might have a little bit more hardware or they're the same, but Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups, okay? Ovechkin has 1. That right there is an argument to be had. LeBron James, Jordan, who's better? Jordan has the rings. LeBron James is trying to catch up. You know what I mean? It's just things like that. But for me, it's Crosby all the way. Archie, what do you think?
So it's funny you mentioned the stats. I never realized how almost identical they are from a points total perspective.
Yeah.
But Ovi just destroys Crosby in goals scored, and then Crosby destroys Ovi in the assist column. So I'm going to show you this right now. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers.
It's fucking incredible, man. We're witnessing greatness before our eyes. Like this, be thankful for being a hockey fan in this generation in the last 15, 20 years. Just be thankful that we got, as much as people could talk shit about Crosby and Ovechkin, or if you don't like them, you have to appreciate greatness and give credit where credit is due. Look at those fucking numbers, man. Unreal. Some of the best players to ever play the game, and they're still playing, and they're still relevant, and they're still good. Enjoy it.
Dude, they both are averaging 80 points a season over 16 active seasons in the NHL.
It's
These
incredible.
Numbers are unreal. And the
in
fact
today's
that
NHL too, Arch. In today's NHL too, where it's harder to score goals, more rules implemented, like goalie equipment bigger, nets smaller. Like it's incredible.
It's unreal. Like the total number blows my mind, but you are right. Ovi's got just under 100 games, or more. Sorry, he's got 160 games on Crosby. So Crosby's definitely, from a production standpoint, points perspective, the better of the two, if you want to look at it that way. But I mean, hey, I'd take either player, man. Either player will make any team 100% better. You put these guys on any team, and they'll make anyone around them better. So,
of course,
but it's incredible. Imagine if the NHL did what the NBA does, and they stack teams with no cap issues. Imagine whatever team was able to land Crosby and Ovechkin on the same team. Oh my goodness. It would be unreal.
I'm very happy, and I'm so glad that the NHL doesn't run the show like that, because don't get me wrong, I love the NBA. I'm a Raptors fan. I'm sure you are too. We're Toronto fans. But I just despise things like the Brooklyn Nets and the way that Durant went over to Golden State after losing when he still had a really good team. I just hate how they, I don't want to get into it, but, I know it's exciting and it's an all-star kind of league, and there's 5 guys on the court for most of the game, and there's not fucking 3 or 4 lines coming at you and 20 guys, whether it's football or baseball and stuff like that. Like, it's just totally different sports. But I don't like how you can have superstars and have about 4 or 5 of them on one team when there's only 5 guys on the court, especially in playoffs, play most of the game. Like, they only miss maybe like fucking 8 minutes of a playoff game. You know what I mean? So to me, that's just crazy. It's not like, I don't know. Anyway, continue on without basketball right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's true. I'm glad that there's no stacking teams in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
The cap definitely helps keep things as even as possible. You know what I mean? So couldn't agree with you more. 100%. I'm glad the NHL doesn't allow that kind of stuff to happen, because it would get out of hand real quick. The richest teams would always dominate every year, as you know. So there'd be no point in having that many teams in the league when it's going to be the same outcome every season, right? So good to see this kind of stuff happen. And I mean, without that, you wouldn't have a Buffalo Sabres, and that's entertaining in itself. So I'm happy. I'm definitely happy that the NHL has their way of keeping things organized. Just looking at some of the comments here. So we had Jeff chime in. I'd like to see Simmons up it a little and get in that tough spot in front of the net, let more shots go and watch him scramble a few in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we know he can do that. We know he's very capable of doing that.
100%.
We saw it at the beginning of the year, getting those dirty goals, and I'm sure we'll see that real soon from him again. There's no doubt there. Other than that, I mean, it's game night. Leafs and Jets start at 8 o'clock tonight, still 0-0.
Yep.
Just double checking that. Yeah, it's still 0-0. Before we let you guys go, as you know, The Buzz, we got a bunch of shows going on all the time. Here's a quick run of what we've got available for you guys to watch. Every day of the week, we've got something to watch. Check it out.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you all know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by a locksmith. On the block, throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, with the top dish. Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish.
So that's the lineup for the week, guys. Be sure to tune in, check out what else we've got playing for you guys. Every day there's something new, and there's actually another show that started up on Monday nights for those conspiracy theory fans out there. Be sure to check that out as well. Other than that, Wade, any final words?
No final words, guys. It's Friday night, so enjoy yourselves. I know that in Toronto right now, we're going back into lockdown at 12 o'clock tonight, which sucks because it's the third one. And I'm getting sick and tired because the patios just opened up and the nicer weather is happening in Canada, well, in Ontario right now. And now we're going to be stuck without being able to go utilize that. So it's going to be a lot of backyard barbecues and a couple friends over to 5 people, whatever it is. And it is what it is. But like I said, TGIF, it is Friday. We just talked hockey. We got the host, Archie, here, who does an incredible job for the show, man. And hats off to you, buddy. And thank you so much, man, for hosting the show tonight. And I can't wait to get back at it again and talk more hockey with you guys. So have a good Friday night, everyone. Archie?
Sounds good. And just a reminder, guys, we're on the air every other Friday now moving forward until the playoffs come around. Then we'll go back on every Friday. So until then, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys not this coming Friday, the following one. So have a good long weekend, and we'll see you then.
Ciao.